Alrighty, guys, we're back for Mono Black Discard, and this is an Aetherdrift Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. We got a couple Gonti, Night Minister. Here on the top end, it's a 4-mana 3/4 legendary creature. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, that player creates a treasure token. Cool. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library and exiles it face down. They may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell this way. Neat stuff, man, and that bottom ability isn't the only way we'll be able to cast stuff from the opponents. Cards like Cruelclaw's Heist made the cut as a 3-of in here. Double black sorcery, gift a card, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. If the gift was promised, you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. Now we also have Tinybones, Bauble, Burglar, and Tinybones the Pickpocket too, also helping us cast stuff from the opponent. I'm actually not going to take the time to read those right now, so there's a lot to go over here. How about some removal? We have all 4 Bitter Triumphs. Okay. Now, I don't think we're going to mind too much discarding if we actually have Monument of Endurance on the board. A couple of these actually making the cut, not just because of Bitter Triumph, though. We actually have all 4 Liliana of the Veil. Since we're keeping the opponent's hand nice and drained anyways, we might as well keep it nice and drained, right? And while we're draining our own hand, hopefully we can get some benefits on Monument of Endurance. Bandit's Talent making the cut as a 4/2, fitting the discard theme beautifully. Keeping the opponent's hand drained, but then also getting benefits from that. Sounds awesome to me, right? 3 Duress making the cut. I don't think Duress is going to miss very often. We actually have an Intimidation Tactics making the cut as a 1/2. Now, with Intimidation Tactics, you are exiling that card, so it's not going to the grave to pick up with Tinybones or something. It's not technically a discard for the Tinybones Bauble Burglar either. However, still making the cut as a 1/of because of the cycling 3. Maybe you end up cycling this while you have Monument of Endurance on the board, which is actually why Night Market made the cut as a 2/of in the mana base. Hopefully not slowing us down at all, but if we do end up flooding out, seeing this late game or something, I wouldn't mind cycling this for 3, and again, maybe get some benefits off of Monument of Endurance. Also getting benefits on Monument of Endurance, I guess Tinybones Joins Up could be a way to do that. This is a 1 black mana legendary enchantment. When Joins Up enters, any number of target players each discard a card. So you could totally just target your opponent and be happy about it. Or maybe you do want a benefit on the monument. Well, you can target both the opponent and yourself. So yeah. Now also, whenever a legendary creature you control enters, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life, which honestly could really come in handy when both Tinybones are legendary, as well as our top end Gonti and our extra top end Aclazotz, making the cut as a 1/of here too. All right, guys, honorable mentions, Deep Cavern Bat. I mean, come on, we're already draining the opponent's hand. How annoying would Deep Cavern Bat be as well in here? I think it would be pretty annoying for them. Also, Deep Cavern Bat's evasion could really come in handy for the bottom ability on the Gonti. Honorable mention for a very good reason, but what the heck are we going to drop for this, huh? Outrageous Robbery also almost made the cut, but with only 24 mana, not a whole lot of extra ramp outside of the Monument's treasures and stuff. I don't know if we're going to get a very big Outrageous Robbery ever in here, so. Oh, guys, I missed Monument Breaker. More removal, but then also if it's not removal, it's more discard. So I think it's going to be pretty decent in here, and it's making the cut as a 3/of. All right, guys, I do my D&Ds to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some Ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be decent, dude. I don't know. I really don't. Oh, I know one thing. I like this first hand. Start with a discard, right into another discard. Early removal. A lot of things to draw into as well. I'm keeping this, dude. Heck yeah. And we'll just target the opponent, of course. Let's see what we got here. A Glyph Bridge, huh? Oh. Okay, Aclazotz, I don't mind seeing that. How about a Bandit's Talent opponent? Ooh, Fabrication Foundry. That probably means they have two. Yeah. Makes sense to me. Good artifact ramp early on. Market Gnome. Liliana. They'll draw a card. They'll gain a life. Minus on the Liliana might not be as good as just going plus here. We also have, we could keep Bitter Triumph open and just upgrade the talent. But they're not drained enough yet, I would say. I don't really want to send the Aclazotz to the grave off the plus either. Yeah, Market Gnome not doing too much though. We're farthest away from the Aclazotz, which makes me sad, and we might need the emergency Bitter Triumph. I think we just continue to drain the opponent's hand, and I hope that's okay. Braided Net, okay. Tap another target non-land permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated for as long as it remains tapped. Uh-oh. That's not great news. Well, at that point, do I really want them to draw on this Market Gnome? It's a little awkward, right? It's a little awkward. I think I'm just going to get the other Bandit's talent down. Their hand will be empty. We'll go plus on one of the Bandit's talents, and we'll just kind of keep Liliana as is. I guess that's fine. But Braided Net is a little bit of a problem. See what they end up doing with it. It's like they do not want to tap down the Liliana here. Yeah, the next turn we'll go ahead and activate the other Bandit's talent too. And then if the opponent does end up getting any extra card draw or anything, that's when we start going plus on Liliana again. Okay, Tinybones is not terrible. We'll start with the Bandit's talent upgrade. Instead of going plus on Liliana, we're going to wait a second, see if it's like removal in the opponent's hand for Tinybones. Because again, I don't realistically want to discard anything else in our hand right now, so. Okay. I don't think it's sticking. I guess I'll go plus. Keep the opponent's hand nice and drained, and I'll get rid of the Bitter Triumph, because I want to see Gonti do something today, especially now that we have Tinybones on the board. Getting a lot of extra damage through with the double Bandit's talent. That's pretty brutal, man. Another Braided Net. Huh. Their hand is still empty, so another 4 damage coming through with the Bandit's talent. I guess they could draw on the Market Gnome, but then we could keep it drained. Alright, so we start with the swing. I don't know if it'll be worth playing. Oh, they are going to activate the Braided Net now. I don't know if I want them to draw now that we can't activate Liliana, right? Yeah, I'm going to go no attacks. The Market Gnome, now that Liliana can't discard whatever they draw. Oh. Oh. Perilous Snare will be worthwhile, though, right? Yeah, that'll be worthwhile. Yeah, Braided Net should probably keep Liliana locked down for the rest of this game. Their big issue, though, right now is going to be the Bandit's talent. Go ahead and turn this into whatever that is. 4 mana tap, draw a card for each artifact you control. Then put this artifact into its owner's library third from the top. Oh, that'll be a great way to restock your hand, opponent. Very nice. So let's see what we get done. Gonti just chilling for now. Okay. Full swing. They do block the Tinybones. Interesting. Maybe I should have kept the other Tinybones. Huh. I didn't really consider that. If we would have kept this, we could have activated its ability to discard, right? Alright, I'll get the Gonti down. I hope it's not a board wipe. Alright, opponent going down to 3. Oh, they're going to activate. Okay, okay. They're not going down to 3. I'm not playing the opponent's side of the board very well right now. I'm a little bit, I guess I'm a little bit confused by what's going on. Great news. They actually are giving us the Liliana turn. But I don't want to lose the Cruelclaw's Heist either, so I'll actually gift them a card too. There you go, opponent. There you go, buddy. See what we see here. Voyage home. Synthesizer, that's all a problem. Wow. 3 voyage home, guys. They're going to keep their hand nice and stocked up here. Spring-loaded saw blade. Synthesizer doesn't do anything for us right now. I have no idea what we want. Spring-loaded saw blade? Or just make sure they don't have synthesizer? Or the glyph bridge so they don't wipe our board if they see their 5th mana? They don't need their 5th mana. Fabrication Foundry actually helps them do that anyways, huh? Alright. See what they end up discarding here. Because of the Bauble Burglar on the board. And they didn't activate the Braided Net, so they tap down the Gonti.
Drop it.
Okay, Voyage Home. That's ours now, too. I guess we'll... Okay, let's see what we see, first of all. There's a lot going on here, man. Perilous Snare. At some point, being able to cast that would be really good. We just don't have the mana for it right now. Oh, wait. Yes, we do. Right? No, we don't. No, we don't. I'll still grab the Perilous Snare, though. We'll have to cast it next turn, question mark? Am I not thinking correctly here with the Tinybones Pickpocket? Guys, I've played Magic once before. First of all, Scene of the Crime's not bad. We can sacrifice that to draw a card if we want. Yeah, Tinybones Pickpocket. It's, you may cast target. So, yeah, I'm not thinking correctly here, guys. We won't get to cast that next turn. Oopsie daisy. So what we should have grabbed was actually Fabrication Foundry. Actually been able to... Oh, GG opponent. Wow. Wow, I mean, I guess I didn't have to play it correctly. As far as first games go, the deck list showcased itself beautifully. Outside of that, I guess I don't play with enough Tinybones, huh? Anyways, the Tinybones Bauble Burglar. Since they're being exiled with stash counters and stuff. So during your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile. But this Tinybones very specifically is only when actually gets the damage through. That's when you can actually cast it. So definitely should have hit a 2-mana card like Fabrication Foundry, for example, then actually been able to play it with our double swamp. And then Gonti would have actually generated a treasure token for us too, right? Getting them down to 5. Still had Liliana established. They established the synthesizer. What was really good there was actually being able to hit the glyph bridge because they did find their 5th mana. So like overall, I guess I played it out well enough. Just getting a little confused there at the end with the Tinybones abilities, huh? But I'll do better now. Now that we got a little bit of practice under our belt, huh? Tinybones is one of those things where I've definitely played with it in the past in Skelly Belly builds. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? All right, I'll give it a shot. 24 mana in here. It should be easy peasy to find the 3rd for the Liliana if we start discarding while the Bauble Burglar's on the board. Yeah, there's our 3rd. Selesnya colors. Uh-oh. What kind of Selesnya is it today, opponent? Novice Inspector. Okay. And Llanowar Elves. Second Liliana. Inspector's the first sacrifice for sure. Inspector, Llanowar Elves. This is probably Gear Hulk. Right? Selesnya Gear Hulk. So keeping Bitter Triumph for that should be pretty good. -2 on the first Liliana is actually still pretty good if we keep the Tinybones back as a blocker, right? Because they want to keep Llanowar Elves. They want to ramp into their 4th. So Inspector dies, and they won't have the swing at the Liliana. So Liliana will be established. We'll start plussing. Then if the Gear Hulk... if the first Liliana takes some pressure off of our face... right? Then the second Liliana can come down, I guess, and pop the Gear Hulk when it comes time. But also double Bitter Triumph, too, in hand, so... yeah, they have 4 mana. Of course, Gear Hulk's a big problem because of how well it keeps their hand nice and stocked up. Oh, Parting Gust. Oh, fishy. They want to take out the Liliana. I'd say it'll be totally worth it to go Liliana pop the Llanowar Elves. What do you guys think? Oh. Never mind. Now that they have another one. Yeah, Haywire might definitely going to be the Gear Hulk build, which is a pretty scary list. I say Bitter Triumph open. Let's get the other Tinybones down. More blockers on the board seem a little bit better. Probably don't trade into that, but I think, yeah, keeping blockers established for now. And the Bitter Triumph open. Probably take the 3 from the Bitter Triumph. That way we can keep all the removal in hand. 5th mana for the opponent. Or 4th plus Llanowar Elves. So Parting Gust, blinking the Gear Hulk, huh? That's the plan with the Parting Gust. I can imagine if they had Gear Hulk, then they would have played it right away. Because I feel like that'd be a pretty solid turn here. Paw Patch. Woo, buddy. Yep, that's a problem. All right. Let's get rid of the Llanowar Elves. See if they activate the clue here with the extra mana before it's gone. So extra Paw Patch recruit on the board and everything. Okay. Yeah, they still have 2 mana open here. Something from hand if it's not the clue. No, it's going to be the clue. 3 cards in hand. Okay. They pass it back. It's mana. It's mana that we could actually discard to the Bitter Triumph. Or just play it. Keep the Bitter Triumph open. Start with the sacrifice to get rid of Haywire Might for sure. We could discard with Tinybones ability. Activate only as a sorcery, though. You don't have to go -2 on the Liliana. But it would still probably be worth it. Since we have 2 blockers on the board. Haywire Might, they go back up to 22. Yeah, they want to keep both of the recruits around. I'll tell you what. If it's going to be another recruit next turn, then we're in a lot of danger, dude. Okay, no attacks. Yeah. Trying to sustain ourselves. Some tough decisions. More mana, that's probably good news for us. Or hopefully it's good news for us. I don't know how often they want to see their 5th mana. Dollmaker's Shop. Uh-oh. I guess Porcelain Gallery could be incoming at some point. We got to be careful with the blocks because of the extra counters here. Nurturing Pixie. Crap. Okay, so they plan to offspring that next turn, maybe? So we let this happen? Other words, they put a bunch of counters onto the Pixie. Right? We'll hope that we can discard it. They don't have a swing now. Patch Recruit. Okay, they don't plan on offspringing anyways. So... oh, crap, dude. Tough decisions, man. Really tough decisions. I'm going to get rid of their flyer. We don't have any ways to block them in the sky. They get an extra counter on the ground. We still have a block on the ground, luckily. We want to do that before the other recruit comes down. Ghost Vacuum was their last card in hand, guys. Okay. Yeah, we have decent blocks, but swing still would have meant a 1/1. Bandit's Talent. Huh. That isn't bad, now that their hand is empty. It's not terrible. The question is, how long can we survive here? So we definitely go up the Bandit's Talent, and we would not mind the card draw next turn either. We can definitely plus the Liliana. Yep. Even if they see an untapped source off the top, Porcelain Gallery is going to be a problem too. So I think we're in danger, guys. And they didn't even see the Gear Hulk yet. It kind of shows what a menace Pop Hatch Recruit can actually be sometimes. But we do have other removal in here that helps us sacrifice the opponent's creatures. So I'm going to go ahead, put the Nurturing Pixie under the Ghost Vacuum. Oh, they also... Oh, they find their 6th mana. Crap, guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. Porcelain Gallery reads, creatures you control have base power and toughness, each equal to the number of creatures you control. Luckily, they only have 2 right now. But I'll tell you what, when they power up this Restless Prairie and everything, this is going to be a problem. So both of these have Trample. So if we wanted to save the Liliana, we'd have to block here, block here. Liliana goes down to 1. Then we'll have to just plus again next turn. Outside of that, if we block here, Liliana dies anyways. So it's still a safe block since they're tapped out. But Liliana's dead. We're in danger, bro. Tinybones, hi. We don't need you right now. All right, Bandit's Talent, can you carry this game for us? I don't know, man. I guess, do we plan on blocking next turn after a Restless Prairie swing? At the very least, we can chump. Yeah, we should keep everything back just in case. It might not be Restless Prairie, first of all. It could be Ghost Vacuum, get a couple extra creatures on the board, since they have the 6th, the 6th mana. So, Inspector, yeah, they could totally go Ghost Vacuum. Oh, there's their Gear Hulk. Uh-oh. Couple 1/1s, play both 1/1s, boost this board state. I'm glad we kept blockers back, but the trample on the recruits, man, it's no joke. It's really no joke. Man, that's a fancy pants version of Gear Hulk, too. That's nice. I like that. They probably have a lot of decisions. A full Gear Hulk build, you can imagine a lot of one-ofs and stuff. I bet the Ghost Vacuum was a one-of, for example. Haywire might be a one-of. I can imagine the 4-ofs would be like Llanowar Elves and Recruit, because Recruit is just going to be so good in general. Oh, Duskrose Reliquary, that could potentially be a one-of. Inspector, looks like they have multiple Inspectors. Okay, they swing with both, yes. I say it's safe enough to take a little less damage here by blocking with the Tinybones. 3 less damage, so we're going down to 8, since we have another Tinybones in hand anyways. And don't forget the Gear Hulk also has Trample and First Strike. So it gets around our Death Touch Tinybones really nicely too. But we're probably dead next turn. Cruelclaw's Heist. That's interesting. We could totally gift a card, grab the Duskrose Reliquary, sacrifice the fish, pick up the Bright Glass, but then we'll die to everything else anyways, right? We didn't actually end up drawing an additional card from the Bandit's Talent since they had 2 cards in hand from the Gear Hulk. So, yeah, what the heck, man? Have a card, opponent. Yeah, I think we're dead either way. I want to play this out to its fullest. All right, it was a Verge. I'll take the Duskrose Reliquary, thank you very much. And we'll cast it. Sacrifice Fishy. Could also take the Ghost Vacuum. It, like I said, it doesn't really matter. It reads artifact or creature, and this is an enchantment. Yeah, I guess, man. The Pop Patch Recruits also giving extra counters everywhere. I guess we'll grab Gearhulk. Again, it doesn't really matter, but what's actually the best grab there, guys? Because technically, they could see another Duskrose Reliquary and sacrifice, I don't know, their Ghost Vacuum or something. And then they'll get the ETB on the Gearhulk again by picking up our Reliquary, since they definitely have enough to pay the ward too, for sure. But either way, 3 of their creatures had trample, so it was one of the creatures with trample for sure. I guess this token would have been a pretty good target. They'd still distribute the counters onto the other trampling creatures anyways too. Oh, opponent, activate the Ghost Vacuum. Oh, never mind, opponent. Never mind. Oh, that would have been so cool. 6 mana, they would have got 3 extra creatures, which all would have gotten the boost. Or everything would have gotten an extra boost with the Porcelain Gallery. They decide to actually power up the Restless Prairie. Okay, we can chump here. That's the best chump we have. Creatures you control have base power toughness. So an interesting thing there is the fact that Restless Prairie is still just a 3/3. Interesting little ruling there, right? That has something to do with layers, correct? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I looked into it in the past, and I kind of forget right now. This land becomes a 3/3, which overwrites the Porcelain Gallery, where its base power toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. I'll tell you what, man, those Gearhulk lists, actually really cool. They're neat, man. I'm actually a big fan of Selesnya in general. I remember when Selesnya Enchantments was just an absolute menace, and everyone really, really did not like Selesnya Enchantments because of how menacing it actually was. But I actually kind of enjoyed it, and I didn't mind going up against him either. It was rough sometimes for sure, but I guess Selesnya is just one of my favorites. So it's kind of cool to see Gearhulk breathing some new life into Selesnya. What do you guys think about this? We got the turn 1 Night Market, so we won't be held up there. A lot of things to draw into. Mudflat Village, Snarling Gorehound. Uh-oh, more mana is terrible news. Wait a minute, more mana? I should have kept Night Market to cycle out at some point. I just stayed on task, and I really shouldn't have. Okay, Bitter Triumph, not going to do too much against a Raise the Past deck list. So hopefully we can go Cruelclaw's Heist, take their Raise the Past. Aclazotz will be really good. Alright. Let me peer into your hand, opponent, and with what we have right now, I'm not going to gift the card. Oh, they had a Dewdrop Cure too. Well, Raise the Past. Still the card to take, right? Still the most menacing out of the two. With Monument of Endurance coming down next turn, as long as they don't go too big with these creatures and we actually have a couple extra turns of setup, then something like the Aclazotz could really pull us back into this. And we'll have the... Alright, more mana. We know what we're discarding to the Bitter Triumph, huh? Some of that mana, for sure. Only 24 in here, so 6. 6 right away is pretty bad. It makes us wonder if we should have mulliganed when we had 4 in the opener. I don't know, though. I kind of liked the hand. But if this was like mono red that we were up against instead, then we would just be super dead. We would have died last turn, probably, right? Okay. So 1 Dewdrop Cure and 1 Raise the Past out of their deck list. They're sending more creatures to the grave and getting ready for more reanimation. Another 2-mana card off the top would be pretty big for us. Based on more mana too, I really shouldn't have played that Night Market. Oh, Bitter Triumph, not bad. So, we could go Bitter Triumph on our turn, discard a swamp, deal 3 damage to them, or go Treasure Token if we want. But second one would probably be Treasure Token. I think we just keep it open for their turn and do both of those things anyways. Probably draw a card and treasure and not worry about the 3. Get rid of both swamps. Because Treasure Token will help us cast the Aclazotz anyways. It's a tough decision, but I'm pretty sure we want to wait for their turn, unfortunately. Pile on. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to stick with it. We're still going to wait until the very last moment. They get Surveil 2 here. So they go Helpful Hunter to the grave. They Surveil 2 as they dig for another Raise the Past. All right. Well, I like the pile-on addition opponent. See what they find. Go for the swing, of course. We're going to start with discarding a card, Ellasil Core. Swamp, get on out of here. Treasure Token, make sure I don't mess up. Actually, never mind. Card draw first makes more sense, right? Makes a lot more sense. More options to discard. Now we can say discard Tinybones, keep the 5th, and go 3 damage to their face instead of treasure. I'm pretty sure we still send Swamp, go treasure, though. Okay, Sanctifier, you're next. I think. I think you're next. And then Treasure Token. That way we can still cast the Aclazotz even if we see mana. And if we do see more mana, Tinybones can also be cast off the treasure. I hope you didn't draw Raise the Past opponent. It's a Sanctifier. All right. We're in this, guys. Okay, they send it. Good news. Kind of, right? Okay, send it. Good news. If they keep it on top, then it's a Raise the Past. That's just how that works. Aclazotz, second Tinybones. The Pickpocket isn't great here. But it should be fine. Mudflat Village is open to take the Deep Caverbat back. They could pick up a Tinybones next turn. Nope, they decide not to. They value the 4th land then. Dewdrop Cure off the top. Oh no, they go ahead and gift it. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Tinybones Joins Up is the target because we can't double down on the Pickpocket. That's not good. Also, Joins Up, we could have targeted ourselves and them. Oh dear. Oh dear, Pylon. They would not mind that, would they? Aclazotz on the board. They send it, though. This is a lot. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Amalia's a 5/5, guys. We can't be too surprised. They were surveilling a lot, and the extra surveils go a long way when you're looking for specific cards. I wonder how many Dewdrop Cures they have. I can imagine they have all 4 Raise the Past, though. So yeah, they sent a lot. It's only a matter of time. Menace gets around the Aclazotz. Cruelclaw's Heist only has a swamp to target in the opponent's hand, so danger? We're in danger, bro. The Deep Cavern Bat being particularly brutal here. Let's swing, right? We start with that. Draw a card, create a bat. Or create a bat and not know what Aclazotz does, because apparently I don't play much Magic, even though I play a lot of Magic. All right. Some great chump blockers. Cruelclaw Heist, obviously not what we want to do here. It's for each opponent who can't discard a card, you draw a card. Not like for each opponent who can't discard a non-land card or something. It's very specific. Just can't discard. Okay, some menacing swings and air swings. I mean, I'd love to get the Tinybones Joins Up back, but I have a feeling, I have a bad feeling about this. We'll see what happens. Because that's a pretty good trade for us, man. So I don't think Tinybones Joins Up is going to stick around. Dewdrop Cure on the top of the opponent's deck list. It was mana. Is it going to be Mudflat Village then? Since they have 6 mana on the board, it's probably Deep Cavern Bat. Make sure we don't get any extra benefits from the Joins Up. Bring it back to hand. And Dewdrop Cure coming out next turn. Mudflat Village proving itself this game, for sure. They also see the Cruelclaw Heist. However, being at sorcery speed, yeah, I can't imagine that would be the grab, as they're going to be able to cast the Dewdrop Cure regardless here. This is one of those games where Bandit's talent would have been excellent. Amalia's being held up by the Tinybones for now. Hey! Hey, hi. Hello, buddy. Anything in particular we'd want to cast from the opponent's grave before they bring it back? Maybe like a Helpful Hunter. They wouldn't even let the Tinybones go through, though. They have a great block with the Sanctifier. So I guess we start with the card draw on the Aclazotz. This time, it's actually card draw. There we go. 5th mana. I guess we still... No, wouldn't have been worth it, right? Aelyssial Core drains us. I could bring it back next turn anyways. Maybe it would have been worth it, actually. Yep, I think that's it, right? So we upgraded the talent. I was trying to think that, like, would it have been worth the swing with the Tinybones to trade into that? Or... Okay, block the Amalia. Hey, they drew the Dewdrop Cure, right? Or am I crazy? Did they send it somewhere? Okay, now it's an Aelyssial Core off the top. What am I missing here, guys? Is that the Dewdrop Cure in hand, but it's not revealed to us anymore? I've been hit with confusion. It must be, because they're looking through their grave. I thought since it was revealed to us from the Amalia that when they drew it, it would still be revealed to us in their hand. Isn't that how it usually works? I guess not, right? All right, they get a lot of surveils here. They got 25 cards remaining in the deck list, guys. And we have 42 cards. If we could figure out a way to survive long enough. I know one thing, the extra draws from the Bandit's talent early on would have been pretty good, but if we would have had to spend extra mana on that, that probably could have been a problem. So we'll get an extra bat. And Monument not doing too much. I'm slightly regretting playing that Night Market earlier, but since we saw so much extra mana anyways, we ended up sending a lot to the Bitter Triumphs. Which ended up, yeah, it wasn't too bad. 3 lands, they got 18 cards remaining, guys. That's funny, man. So if we go swing, okay, well, first of all, Bandit's talent empties their hand if we want to go for the draw on the Aclazotz. Or do we want bat on the Aclazotz? Try to block this one. They just won't swing with it. I mean, we're at 4. The big problem right now is the Aelyssial Core, right? Go back up to 8. 1 blocker. I think we're dead. We keep Aclazotz as a blocker over the swing. I guess we'll go card draw then, right? Bandit's talent. Empty the opponent's hand. Okay. Oh, a couple bats. Oh, a couple blockers. I'll take it. All right, now we go swing. This is funny, dude. This is funny. If you ever catch me doing stuff similar to this when I'm playing red cards, then you can yell at me, okay? Oh man, hey Gonti, welcome back. Welcome back, buddy. All right, going down to 7. Raise the past on top of the opponent's deck list. Well, crap. All right, we can successfully play the swamp, and we could get Gonti down. Blocks a little better on the ground. Well, not really. Tinybones still does the thing well enough. So I guess we'll activate the Bandit's talent. Tinybones, the Pickpocket, blocks the Amalia. Cruelclaw's Heist just chilling. All right. We have blockers for the air, but unfortunately, Raise the Past on top ends this game because of life gain and Starscape Cleric being on the board. They start with the full swing, though, which is, I guess, not terrible news for us, but there's not, like, a whole lot we can do here. Well, we can actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. No matter where we block, they're going to bring everything back that we end up killing. Yeah. Good game, opponent. Also, they don't have to bring anything back. We were low enough for the Ellysil Core to clean it up anyways. Tinybones Joins Up would have been actually really good. Their Deep Cavern Bat taking that away from us, and the Mudflat Village being able to bring back the bat and everything. That was so significant, that game. Kind of cool stuff happening so far, but a little bit awkward sometimes too. So all that's very, very noteworthy. Let's keep the ball rolling, man. We're 40 minutes in. Let's try to get one more game. Guys, I forget if I brought it up this video, but if you enjoyed the channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop it a like. All that's very important. So thank you guys. Also down in the description, we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. I'll tell you what, Duress in that last game would have been pretty good, right? I like this hand a lot, so let's keep it. Rakdos colors. I don't want to run Tinybones right into Torch the Tower, so let's start with that Duress. Give me a peek inside the opponent's hand. Oh, crap. We got to get rid of the monuments for sure. Oh, crap, dude. And Locust Spray, of course, picks up the Tinybones, but we're not worried about that right now. A Monument deck versus Monument deck is terrible news, and we're not really a Monument deck, right? We just have a couple of them packed in to work well with some of our other discard cards. All right, let's see their discard with the Bandit's talent. Next turn, the Monument comes down, and they're going to be very happy about that. Going to be the Locust Spray. That's good news. Won't pick up the Tinybones when it comes time. All right, let's see how much... Oh, no, mana. Mana for days. Might be able to cycle out the Night Market when it comes time. The Liliana going plus. Not great, man. They'll just draw the card right back. For now, we got to treat it as removal, but... For what, right? Go plus on the Bandit's talent. Establish Tinybones. Oh dear. At least we got rid of one of the monuments. Liliana, hi. Tinybones is what they choose here. Intimidation Tactics, that might honestly miss. Also, that's not a discard, so it's not terrible. We'll start with it. We could go level 3 Bandit's talent if we think they're going to be drained enough, but ill-timed explosion draws filters. Okay, Intimidation Tactics. Let's peer into the opponent's hand here. It does miss. Liliana's going to start going discard next turn too, for sure. So we're going to go Swamp, keep the cycling open, and cycle before the discard. And see what we see. I don't know, man, but now that their monument's established, I think we're in trouble. All right. Cycle. Monument! All right! Yeah! All right, we'll get rid of the Swamp. Because I don't know if we need the 5th right now. They go for card draw on the Endurance, of course, or Monument of Endurance. And Artist Talent. upgrade it to 2. We're in danger, bro. A lot of danger. Dude, not bad. I actually wish I would have sent the Liliana so we could have played the swamp and played both of these things, right? Would have been pretty decent, honestly. I think we don't want them to play ill-timed explosion, of course, right? But crap. We need to establish the monument to battle their monument, right? I hope that's okay. That's a tough decision, dude. Monument, no! That's their third one. That's terrible news, man. Oh, no. They go ahead. They actually send the ill-timed explosion. Try to find a little bit more here. Since they're getting extra card draw, makes sense. 3 in hand, and they still have the plus on the Liliana. Okay, first of all, Grixis Monument seems really cool, right? So I think we want to keep the Cruelclaw's Heist. It's a really tough decision, man, but I'm sorry, Liliana. I think playing cards out of their list should be fine enough, right? Probably card draw to try to keep up with their card draw. But also, our Bandit's talent doing a pretty good chunk of things, too. Yeah, I suppose for now, it is going to be card draw, though. Try to keep up with what they're doing over there. Double monuments on the board. I can't imagine we get through this easily. Tinybones joins up. So they're going to start by keeping whatever is valuable enough. Then we take it with the Cruelclaw's Heist. Or we start with that. This is an exile. That's a discard. We could go discard our swamp. Draw more on the monument. The bottom ability on Bandit's talent also tries to help us keep up with the extra card draw here. Them keeping the Liliana is a little bit rough, though. In 1 second, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. Cruelclaw's Heist isn't technically a discard. I'm going to gift him the card. Here you go, buddy. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Oh, no, it's mana. Oh, it's 3 things of mana, and we let them draw one of those. Oh, crap, dude. Well, this is awkward. Get rid of our swamp. Let's see what we draw, I guess. At this point, I am wondering if I should have just started with the life loss, right? See what we draw, though. See what they draw. Double monument. They go draw 1, and they go for damage. I'm going to keep the swamp, so that way we discard it to their Liliana. Since they want to discard anyways, they're going to go plus. It's not like they have a -2. And I'd much rather discard the swamp so we can actually do something with the monument, which in this scenario is probably, again, just going to be card draw. But if it wasn't card draw, and I was just doing 3 damage this whole time, that'd be the 3rd time we were doing 3 damage. They do have enough cards in hand to get around the level 2 on the Bandit's talent, and at this point, the level 3 for sure, too, so they don't have to discard in the ill-time explosion. They just treat it as card draw there in general. Bitter Triumph, since there's no creatures to remove. Artist talent number 2, and they still can create treasure tokens, but they end up passing it back, and they don't even go Liliana for the extra treasure tokens because they didn't want to give us any extra value, guys. Brutal. So on our turn, so we'll activate Bandit's talent because we have nothing else to do. We'll play the swamp because I believe this is game, because they can play an instant speed thing, have us lose 3 and 3, and then on their turn, they play something else. So artist talent, they're actually going for the draw 2 and discard here too, so they're actually getting all the different abilities on the monuments. I wonder if they have any burn packed in. So far, Grixis colors for Locust Spray, Bitter Triumph, and Liliana. Another artist talent. Hey, good game, by the way, opponent. I'm kind of looking at the opponent's deck list, admiring it a little bit. I really like the idea of Grixis discard. Going discard deck versus discard deck, but one of them's rocking a lot more monuments. Probably all 4 of them in there for sure, right? Kind of the main card, main build around. Our deck list is a little bit like it's not like it's a complete loss against those deck lists by any means, right? So real quick, let's go over to the deck, then we'll talk about it more, and then I'll talk more about that final game too. All right, here's the deck list again. Mono black discard. Cool, but also a little janky. A lot of awkward things, right? A lot of awkward things happening in those matches. Some of that awkwardness could have just been how I was playing it out too. Very, very possible. The double Monument of Endurance. What are we using in this deck list to discard? Night Market Cycle, Intimidation Tactics Cycle, Liliana, discarding the opponent's hand and our hand, and Bitter Triumph as well. Realistically, oh, Tinybones Joins Up too can also target. So that's a fair chunk of cards that we're actually able to discard out of our hand for the Monument of Endurance extra abilities. So would more Monument of Endurance be worth it? Depending on the matchup, yeah, but most of the time, probably not, right? But about that final game where we're up against another Monument of Endurance deck list, right? The deck list, like I said, it's not a complete loss. We have early Duress to remove the monument before they get it. They don't have to see 3 of them. Sometimes they'll only see 1. You get rid of the one that they have with the Duress, and you're probably going to start getting the ball rolling, hopefully a little bit sooner than they get their ball rolling. Hopefully they miss future monuments too. Outside of that, since they are playing a monument, and you're playing a monument, they kind of sort of cancel each other out. Not really cancel each other out like double Sheoldreds or something, but you guys know what I mean. Outside of that, not everything in this deck list is actually discarding from the opponent's hand. Cruelclaw's Heist exiles from the opponent's hand, which is another way to actually hit the extra endurances out of their hand too. So turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Cruelclaw's Heist, even if they had 2 in their opener. Sure, you have to line up pretty well for that, but the opponent also has to line up pretty well to see double monuments on their first turn anyway, so. Keeping their hand drained fast enough, no matter what, if you're discarding cards from their hand, they're going to keep the monument. So it has to be one of these ones that you're actually grabbing out of the opponent's hand, because the monument's just going to be too much value once they realize that you are discarding things. Bandit's Talent. I wonder how many of those games I should have valued spending the 4 on the 3rd level. Realistically, level 1 and level 2 are kind of the only reason they're actually in here, right? Because it's kind of sort of one of our win conditions. Outside of our top end and stuff, and outside of tiny little swings with Tinybones here, this is an interesting one. Funny enough, it shouldn't have been too hard to play, but it was a little bit difficult for me to think through some of those plays and stuff too. Do you guys think the double Night Market is actually worth it for the bottom ability, the cycling? I think so. It's fine. This is one of those deck lists where you're not going to mind too much if you actually have to play this out tapped on one of your early turns. Like turn 3, for example, 6 3-drops, but 1,000 2-drops here. So, so what that ends up looking like is sometimes you won't even have a turn 3. You go turn 1, Duress or something, or Tinybones, and then turn 2, open mana, play your turn 2. Turn 3, Night Market can come down tapped successfully as you just play another 2-drop anyways, and probably a removal spell or something. Momentum Breaker would have been pretty good today, I would say. 7 pieces of spot removal plus the 4 Lilianas, if we want to count that as spot removal, is a pretty good chunk of spot removal overall. Now, spot removal in general isn't going to do too much against specific deck lists like Raise the Past and stuff, or other deck lists that know how to go wide, like that Gear Hulk deck list that we saw too. So all that's very, very noteworthy. Where's the meta going to settle? What's it actually going to look like? And if it looks like the opponents are going wide often, then we have to reconsider a lot of things in here, right? Put this one on the do not craft list for sure, guys. It's pretty expensive for cards that we don't get to see too often. Tinybones Joins Up is rare. Tinybones the Pickpocket's mythic. Tinybones Bauble Burglar is rare. Monument's rare, but a lot of people are really enjoying building around this. So I would say if you really like Monument of Endurance and you like the style of builds that it's going into, might be a worthwhile craft, but honestly might not be too. I do know one thing, a lot of people are really enjoying the card and building around the card. Since it's a colorless artifact, goes into a lot of different builds too. Liliana is mythic, Aclazotz is mythic, Gonti is rare, didn't get to see too much from that today. Kind of my fault too earlier, right, because of some misplays, or just playing things out of order, or in a weird order. With the Tinybones, the Pickpocket play, I thought I was going to be able to play that 3-mana card next turn. I was getting the Tinybones confused, right? If I would have just been able to play the 2-mana card, I would have got the extra treasure token on that turn, which actually would have been really neat. Cruelclaw's Heist is rare, another card we don't see too often at all, right? Bandit's Talent, Bitter Triumph, Momentum Breaker are uncommon. Intimidation Tactics is uncommon. I think Duress is normally just common, and so is Night Market. But I had to play the fancy pants version of Duress, of course. So that's a lot of rares and a lot of mythics. I definitely put it on the do not craft list, guys. And it also could be just the fact that I'm not used to playing this style of deck list. Maybe there were definitely more optimized plays throughout this whole video that I could have taken to give it a little bit more of an edge. Very possible. All that's important to note. Definitely let me know down in the comments. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. Maybe more Gonti Night Minister could be cool too. But realistically, we were having some issues actually playing things from the opponent. So I don't know. I guess it all depends, doesn't it? Okay, well, enough rambling. I don't really have too much else to say here. Put it on the do not craft list. It's probably going to be janky. I know when I put it up on Aetherhub, I'm going to put it up as jank. So, or whenever I put it up, like it gives you 4 different labels: aggro, mid-range, control, and combo and jank. So 5 different labels. I'll probably put it up as just jank, honestly, right? It's not really an aggro build, and it's not mid-range, not control. Yeah, combo. Maybe combo jank. We'll see. Either way, guys, hey, I will see you in the next video.